right? Shalom to all Israel, man. Just a quick one, very quick, uh, uh um, you know, immediate live, man, right? Right, very, very quick one. What's your reasonable service? What are you doing? Um, what is it that you're doing, man? Right? Kind of, oh, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing. Well, what are you actually doing, man? Are you doing anything? You know what I'm saying? You're trying to better yourself, man, right? Because we all have a reasonable service, man, that we actually have to upkeep, right? We actually have a reasonable service, man, right? So really quickly, right, we go to Romans chapter 12, right, the classic Romans chapter 12 and verse 1. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh, that ye represent your bodies a living sacrifice, right? So if you present your body as a living sacrifice, that means there's certain things you're gonna have to get rid of, man, naturally. And if you're not trying to do that, I really don't like to use the word try, but if you're not even attempting to do that, right, then you're really stuck and fixated on the things of this world. And really, like Yahweh Shai, he rebuked the spirit that was on Paul, man. Right? He said, get thee hence, because that spirit that was on Paul was trying to, slacking up Paul, sorry, on Peter, right? Was trying to hinder the work, man, of the Most High, right? Bashim Yahweh Shai. So you want to represent your body as a living sacrifice, right? What is it are you doing that? Are you cutting down on certain things that are not acceptable, that are not holy, that make you unholy, that are not clean in the eyes of the Most High? And we all have that, man. We all have certain things like, you know, when you go to the gym, for example, there's certain things you kind of need to work on this bit and cut down this bit of fat and so, man, right? So it says, present that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, right? And obviously that word holy, it doesn't mean a whole, man, right? It means set apart, right? Different. You want to be holy. Wear your fringes, man. You know what I'm saying? Things that set you apart are these is the faith, right? And your faith leads you to your works, man, right? So you want to present yourself to be holy, man, and don't just holy when everybody's around and you're trying to stand up in the line and you're trying to read like this. Hey, it's holy even when you're by yourself, man, right? And when you even say these things, hey, that's conviction to yourself. Yeah, that is conviction, man, right? It says acceptable unto Yahweh, which is your reasonable service. So that's our service, right? To present ourselves as a living sacrifice, man. Because Yahweh Shai, he was the lamb, he was a sacrifice for us. So we have to, follow in his steps, right? It says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing. So if you're not conformed to this world, that means you're not getting down with this so-called system, man, and the things that it puts out there, and this and all the confusion that it puts out, right? You don't want to be conformed to this world. It says, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove. So when you're, that you transforming your mind, like, and being transformed, that's really proving what is good. You know what I'm saying? Right? That ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh. So when we're being transformed, hey, that's the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And that's proving it, right? Because that's how you're going off, man. Right? And just quick preset. Right? It's the Psalms, right? Chapter 40, right? And verse 8, right? What is gonna convert us, man, right? This is Psalms 40 and 8. It says, I delight to do thy will. So again, people say we have free will. We don't have free will, man. Right? You might be mistaken, or have free will. We don't. We don't. It's simple as that. Right? When you have free will, you do everything but what Yahweh's you're not doing the most high will, you're doing your own will. Right? No, you don't have free will, right? Quick precepts, man. Right? Precepts. Quick precept on that point. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and 1. It says, this is the book of the commandments of Yahweh, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. So hey, you're supposed to keep this, man. Right? This is for your good. This is to give you life. And a lot of people, like they call it, man, the Walking Dead. I might change the title of this, right? A lot of people they're part of the Walking Dead, man. They're the extras that walking around and they're walking like zombies, like damn Thriller, man. Right? So this book, man, is gonna give you life, right? The laws, the statutes, the commandments, the chapters and scriptures that are on faith, reading it itself, and that should be renewing your mind, man, and convicting you. When you read a precept, it should convict you. You know, it should convict you. Say, okay, wait, okay, that's conviction. And sometimes conviction, hey, it may come from somebody, right? So, and a point on that, do we have free will? I can do well, you can't, right? Because it says keep. Obviously, right? People say, well, you know, let's just put this out there, right? It's the book of Romans, chapter 5 and verse 13. For until the law, sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed when there is no law. So, you know, people try and say certain things are it's a sin. It's not a sin to have multiple wives, right? People, it's not a sin to have that. But again, a wisdom should be the first application before you even considering that, right? So, you know, it's not a sin to, I don't know, to play games, man, to game and what. It's not a sin to do that. But the sin now becomes where you idolize that thing and you put it before Yahweh Shem Shai, right? So you don't want to have that kind of spirit, man. You don't want to. I know that people try and force sins on you, man, right? And tell you, oh, yeah, that's a sin, right? You had a sister kind of say something about like listening to certain types of songs, man. Right? Obviously, you want to watch what you're listening to because now you start singing about 50 Cent and or murder. We don't believe you. Now you just murder in your mind or whatever, man. Like YNW Melly or something, right? And now you go and carry out stuff like that, right? That's where you're going off, right? But is it a sin to listen to R&B? But again, watch what you listen to. That's not a sin though, right? So don't let people impose sins or what they think is. To know what sin is, you have to know the law, man, right? But again, do we have free will? Free will, right? No, right? Because this is Second Ezra, chapter 3, and I'll start from verse number 8, right? It's Second Ezra 3 and 8. It says, and every people, right? I'll start from 7. And unto him thou gave us commandments to love thy way. So this is talking about Adam, right? Because to Adam was given commandments, right? To love thy way, which he transgressed. So he went, that's his own will when he's transgressed. And immediately thou appointed death in him, like it says in Romans 6 and 23, right? I believe, right? Because sin is death. It says thou appointest death in him. And that's a lot of people, man. When you're in sin, right? And everybody has sin, man. Right? Everybody, we don't. There's stuff we don't do. We do. We don't even know. We realize we're going off. So we have to die daily. And that's. I will praise to the Most High, man. Right. So when which he transgressed, and immediately thou appointed us death in him and in his generations, of whom came nations, tribes, people, and kindreds out of number. So from Adam, that's why I be go off, man. Right? You're wondering why you thinking wicked thoughts. Hey, that's that damn Adam spirit, man. You're probably in the garden. And then you went off, man. Right? Verse 8, and it says, and every people walked after their own will. See that? So that's not the most high will. And that's that same issue that Adam had, right? Where he walked after his own will, that led him to transgress. Right? It says, and verse 8, and so second Ezra 3 and verse 8, and every people walked after their own will and did wonderful things before thee. See that? And that just because something is wonderful doesn't mean it's a good thing. Oh, that was so great. But he could have robbed your mom. He robbed your mom. He pushed your niece's head to the side, and you say, "Oh, yeah, it was wonderful." Right? That could be wickedness, man. Wickedness can be wonderful in the eyes of someone that's got a reprobate mind. Right? You can, oh yeah, this is. It feels great at the time, but it's off. but it's wicked and it's off, straight up and down, right? And we don't want to have that spirit of accepting persons, right? Because a gift is show of the heart. Yeah, don't worry, shush, and you hand him £5, right? This is Second Ezra 3:8 again. It's and every people walked after their own will and did wonderful things before thee and despised thy commandments. So doing your own will leads you to what? Going the hell off, right? So you don't want to have that spirit, man, of doing your own will, man. You want to have conviction, man. You want to actually be clean. You want to cleanse yourself, right? Which is that's your reasonable service, man. Right? This is First Thessalonians chapter 4. See that? And I'll start from verse 1. It says, furthermore, then we beseech you, brethren, and exhort you by the Lord Yahushua. And that's what you should be doing to brothers and sisters, man. Exhorting them, right? By the word. That's what the whole point of camp is for. Right? Is exhorting people, even in your day-to-day, man. You use your speech to exhort people, man. It says that that as ye have received of us how ye ought to walk and to please Yahweh, so ye would abound more and more. So, right, that's what they've learned, man. Right? I read it again. That as ye have received of us, right, how ye ought to walk, so how you should move, how you should carry yourself, and to please Yahweh, because these things, when you're taught in righteousness, right, that pleases the Most High, Bashimi Hawashai. So ye would abound more and more. So you should hold on to that, right? Right, hold fast to that which is good and that which brings life, man. You don't want to be a dog returning onto your vomit, right? So it says, verse 2, for ye know what commandments we gave you by the Lord Yahushai. For this is the will of Yahweh, even your sanctification. So you're cleaning, your cleanliness, being clean, man. That ye should abstain from fornication, right? And that's you have spiritual fornication too, right? And that's evil, wicked lusts, right? Concupiscence, covetousness. You want to abstain from that, right? It says that every one of you should know how to possess his vessel in sanctification and honor. So we have to, especially men, man, right? As a man, you have to learn self-control, man. Right? I gotta learn that too. You gotta learn how to control your vessel, possess your vessel. Don't get drawn out. Nah, man, just saying, yeah, you're nothing, and you're just ready to crash out. Huh? Gotta chill out, right? Take a touch, right? Composure, right? That's what you gotta do. It says, not in the lust of concupiscence, even as the Gentiles, which know not Yahweh, right? And that's both Gentiles, man. That's the Israelite Gentiles, and that's these other nations, man. They don't know Yahweh, right? Because they're stuck in that, man. They're stuck in that thought process. So we want to be, and I'll give one more precept, right? 2 Corinthians 13, and I'll start with verse 5, right? The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 13, and verse number 5, it says, examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. So you have to have self-examination. Think, am I really in this? Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Yahushua Hamashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates? But I trust that ye shall know that we are not reprobates. So, man, we have to be constantly self-examining. Oh, like, am I really in this thing? You're scratching. Oh, well, what's the point of wearing these fringes? Well, might as well not wear the fringes if you're not really going to be in this thing, man. Right? But obviously wear your fringes, if you have ears to hear, you understand what I'm saying, right? But we have to constantly self-examine. We don't want to be reprobates and just, oh, well, it is what it is, spirit. So come with that, I'll say praise to Yahweh, Bashim Yahshai, right? Shalom, shalom.